Hey Julia, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
I'm doing great, thanks. Given all that's going on with the COVID-19, I've been reaching out to agents in different parts of the country, just kind of take the temperature on how things are going for them. I know in Boston, Massachusetts, our governor has declared real estate as essential, so that we're still open for business. It's just that we're facing some challenges, and we're kind of leveraging technology to overcome those challenges. I know, for example, with my company, we're using a lot of Matterport 3D video tours, 3D tours, which you can also use with virtual reality components, using FaceTime and Zoom to do customer meetings and even do virtual showings where people can kind of, I can hold up the camera and, they can kind of do a virtual showing right there. So I think we're kind of finding our way around some of the restrictions while still being in, compliance with the CDC guidelines on safety with social distancing. So that's what's going on up here. I'd love to hear what's going on down where you are.
Well, David, as you know, I'm right smack dab in the middle of Manhattan, which is unfortunately ground zero
Mhm.
for the pandemic. As a result, our governor shut down all non-essential businesses as of Sunday night, March 22nd. And that did include real estate. So we have been at home, and I was a broker during 9/11, and we're experiencing something very similar because it's a crisis at the same level where people have just stopped doing business in terms of real estate. The closings that have happened, there were contracts signed prior to March 22nd. Those closings are being done virtually. Our governor is allowing the notary to be done virtually. It just has to have a camera recording it. So that's been interesting. We have a lot of co-ops in the city. Boards are doing virtual meetings instead of in person. But in terms of showings, I have not had any requests, which has been interesting. Now, I have empty properties, so I am offering FaceTime. I have the newly acquired skill of being a videographer. And so I will be applying those skills next week. And I've learned how to be a video editor this week.
Mhm.
So I think we're going to see a lot of long-term changes in the way people buy and sell real estate when we come out of this situation we're in. And I think we are, as you say, going to be using more virtual reality. We are going to be leaning on the Matterport. Yesterday I immediately reached out to my favorite photographer to make sure he had that 3D capability, which he does have.
Okay.
And I think we will see fewer showings, more virtual open houses. But like 9/11, when we get through it, 9/11 happened, everybody froze, and then business continued. All of a sudden, 60 days later, this time frame might be a little bit longer, but there will be pent-up demand. And what I really think is interesting is everybody's been at home. We're now on week 4,
Mm.
and we're week 3 according to the governor. I went into shelter a week earlier because my son's school closed down. But I think there's a lot of people who will be working from home suddenly realizing that in this new world of working at home more, that maybe their space doesn't work as well as they thought. So I think that's going to prompt a lot of change as well.
That's interesting. Yeah, because and then what you say, yeah, a lot of realtors I know are kind of starting to sharpen up their the tools that they have and find new ones to work with. Like you said, video editing.
Yes.
I think it's important. It's a good time for some realtors to just take advantage of that and learn how to do that kind of thing. And even for people at home, learn something new or something while you're in the house, that kind of thing. So that sounds really good. So no showing requests at all, then you're saying, right? For the most part.
I did have one rental, and I was wise enough. I don't know what made me think to do it, but I did take a video tour of it
Mm.
before we went into a shutdown mode. And I have been sharing that over Google, sharing the link to anybody who asked,
Mm.
because it really wasn't a good enough quality to be sharing publicly, only for people who are truly interested.
Sure. Up here in Boston, anyway, we're still having some new buyers pop up and want to start looking. It really kind of depends on their personal circumstances. I think that
Mhm,
people are just kind of sort of thinking about exploring the idea of
mhm.
house hunting or staying online. and limiting it to looking at pictures and videos. But I noticed that people who have, compelling reasons to move, like transferees in from out of state, a job brought them in to the area. And these days, I think people, if they get a job offer that looks pretty solid, they're still going for it, which I think is a good sign that people
Oh,
don't
yes.
feel kind of frozen in place.
Mhm.
But that's what I found. The buyers out there are more having a compelling personal reason or professional reason to make a move, which makes them all the more serious buyers. It's kind of like people who look for homes off season.
That makes
Like
sense.
in the Boston area, the depth of winter or around some of
Mhm.
the end of year holidays, that people might take a little bit of a lull, but those looking at those times are spot on serious about getting a place. So that's how I'm kind of comparing the kind of buyers that I'm seeing out there. And then similarly for sellers, if there's a seller that has a compelling reason to move, again, like a job change, or if they're downsizing and just don't want to take care of such a big house anymore, or they have a family event where, like, say, they either had another child or something. So if that need changes, then that kind of starts them to look for
Yes. Two of my
that
listings were job moves.
job.
And the families have already moved, which is great for me because I can show the property virtually.
Hmm.
I'm allowed to go out and go to the property. I just can't meet anybody there, but I can do a FaceTime.
Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah, how I guess where I have to do it right now. But it's interesting when I meet with new buyers, especially some of the couple of corporate transferees in, I do make a point saying that showings are going to look a little different than
Mhm.
what you may typically expect. It could be, me going into the home, FaceTiming with you, or doing a Zoom call. Then if you want, you could write up an offer sight unseen and then make your offer conditional upon physically viewing the home within like 24 hours.
Mhm.
So I'm seeing some kind of, creative approaches to that. So I think it's really kind of interesting from that perspective. But housing is hard. Sometimes people really want to see it. So I think that's why with the
Yes.
like the Matterport and the video, you're spot on, and just honing your skills in that area. And for a while, realtors may feel like more media professionals than real estate professionals after a while.
And I don't think that's going away. I think that's the new reality, and that as real estate professionals, we will be offering a larger suite of services to our clients. Yeah, in terms of showings, I mean, there could be an upside in that for sellers, you'll have less traffic coming through. And at first, that'll be very disorienting
Yeah.
for people. They'll get nervous that they're not seeing more people come through. But remember, before you could shop online for property, everybody had to go through a house to see if they liked it or not. There are no photos online. So then there are fewer people because you could see it online and say yes or no, I'm going to go see that property. And now we're going to take it one step further, where you can see photos and videos and almost feel like you've walked through the property. And as you've virtually walked through the property, if the space resonates with you, then you go see it. So in a way, it's almost better for the homeowner to have less traffic.
Yeah, that is a good point, because then kind of the people who are just kind of sort of interested in the property, they'll take a look and they'll say, no, I'll pass. So that more serious people will stop by and see the home during the open house, and less traffic, because sometimes
That's
sellers
where
may
it
get
goes.
nervous in general about open houses. So that is kind of a good way to clear. It would be interesting to see in the end how much all of this is kept and how realtors do business. I do think the virtual tours and the virtual reality are kind of here to stay. And my hope is that the electronic notary stuff is going to stay as well. Because initially when I heard about electronic notary, I thought it's like a DocuSign type situation.
No, and they're a little different, yeah.
Yeah. So from what you're saying, it's fine. It's just done partially live, partially not.
I always think of the busy families who have a hard time keeping their homes looking show ready. And that's
Yeah.
very stressful for them. The last minute appointment where they, this dual career couple has gone flying off to work and the beds are unmade and the laundry's scattered. When you have fewer showings,
Yeah.
it's not as disruptive to your life when you're selling.
Oh, that's interesting. The practical applications of benefits of virtual showings. You can live in your house as you normally would.
Yeah,
But then
I'm
if you
not
get
going
like a showing from someone, buyer that is probably really hot for the property, you can like, okay, let's just do a hurricane cleaning of the house
Exactly.
15 minutes before they show up. So, that's interesting, that point to put it that way, saying there's going to be more flexibility perhaps
Yeah,
for people moving forward. So what we're seeing as a constraint on the market is actually going to help it be more efficient
I think so.
in the end of things, which is really good. Hopefully this will end soon. So anyway, thank you so much for your time. This was really interesting. Is there anything else you wanted to make sure we cover before we sign out for today?
I just want to make sure everybody's staying safe and healthy. Take this really seriously, and we'll see everybody on the other side.
Same here. Take care of yourself. Be safe and healthy. And by the way, if somebody wanted to reach out to you, what would be the best way for them to do that?
They can either call me or email me. I'm at 917-690-4861, or Julia Boland, BOLAND, at Corcoran.com. And that's Corcoran as in Barbara Corcoran.
Yes. Always a plus. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you, David. Bye.